Welcome to part two of this first essay, first paper, and first discussion lecture. This is really simple. I want to talk about those elements of film form. I think that lecture that I stole from a colleague of mine on the other coast is actually quite great. I love the clips he uses. I think he explains everything really wonderfully, but I want to start talking about those in a little more everyday way. As I say right in the assignment, you're going to have to start thinking about very specific, tiny little moments of films. I had mentioned Star Wars last time. I might be talking about Darth Vader's helmet, and that might be the only thing I mention from that scene. Or I might mention the sound that lightsabers make when they hit each other, or something like that. Very, very, very small observations from those films. So that's crucial. The elements of film form are basically the things we use to put a film together. So we have literary design, visual design, cinematography, editing, sound design. On one level, guys, that's the course. Those 5 ways of understanding film. And you'll see the way I sort of structure things, we'll get a deeper and deeper and deeper understanding of those throughout. Okay, let me break it down a little bit. Literary design, on one level, this is 8th grade English class if you took a literature class. This is character, setting, conflicts, sort of how the plot, the words used, the script, so the actual thing that was written down that the actors are going from, etc. So when you're thinking about narrative, when you're thinking about story, when you're thinking about character, that's literary design. That's probably what most people feel most comfortable talking about in a class like this, which means I'm going to push us to always connect that to literary design to one of the other elements of film form or design. So just for example, this week I'm asking you to talk about, any one element of elements of film design. So it could be you're going to talk about a specific character and a line that they say. Please quote correctly if you're going to talk about the actual script or what people say in the film. Visual design is basically everything that's put into the image before the camera rolls. So we have something called mise en scène or mise en scene, which is basically every object that's put into the frame before anyone starts recording it. And you'll realize that that stuff is wildly, wildly, wildly sort of important. But it also could be costumes, makeup. It depends on how you look at it. It could be things like special effects as well. So really, not just the recorded image, but everything that's sort of set up to create that recorded image is what we could call visual design. Cinematography is probably the second most popular element of film that we'll talk about, that students will get into. And that's really the camera. How the camera works, how does it move, what angle is it positioned at, etc. And as soon as you start becoming aware of the camera and how it works, you'll realize how sort of really cool certain films can be and how they kind of work. Throughout other lectures, you're going to see me talk about certain types of shots, certain types of camera moves, certain camera angles, etc. So for now, just try to be attentive. Is there a really intense close-up? Is there a weird shot from like the top of a room looking straight down? For example, watch American Beauty. There's a dead bird looking straight up into the camera. Very strange, weird sort of shot. So that's cinematography. Editing, what happens once you've recorded an image? Hey, I hit record on the camera, recorded 3 minutes of film, and then, you know what, I only want to use 30 seconds of that starts 20 seconds in, and then I'm going to cut it out. So editing is how you manipulate those images to put together into a film. In contemporary television, for example, if you've seen something like American Horror Story, the cuts, when they cut the film, are literally so quick, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. The next time you watch a TV show or a film, try to count how long you get a single image for before it cuts to another image. Older films tend to have much longer shots. That's the sort of the length you have of a particular moment. And contemporary stuff, I think, some people would say because our attention spans are shorter, we need quicker shots. I think other people who study this more intensely would say, as we start using shorter shots, our attention spans get shorter. Anyways, so that's editing, how you actually put those shots together. Sound design is exactly what you think. The music, the actually Foley sound, the sort of the everyday noises that you would hear, the voice that you would hear, a voice over, etc. Probably the 2 most important terms to think of regarding sound design is diegetic and non-diegetic sound. We'll delve into this more when we talk about Psycho in a month or so. But diegetic just means from the world. So diegetic sound right now in this particular film clip is anything that you hear me doing or that's happening in the background, or I think I have laundry going downstairs if you sort of hear that. That's diegetic sound, natural sound from the world. Non-diegetic sound is external music that comes in or sound that comes in. You ever see like a montage where you watch two people falling in love and there's a song that's being played? The characters aren't hearing that song. The audience is hearing that song, but we're watching 3 years of their lives unfold. That's non-diegetic sound, sound that's coming from outside the world. We'll delve more deeply into each one of those categories, but for now, find one you can latch onto a little bit, watch through the Elements of Film Form lecture, and then think about the films you're talking about and see if you can employ some analysis of the Elements of Film Form onto your chosen movies. Looking forward to seeing your discussions, guys.